band. Thanks for joining us. You just walked off stage from Summit, joined by Ryan Smith up there. It was an awesome chat and presentation. What does it feel like to be here as Big Tech Summit?
It feels good. I love Utah. I mean, I don't know why, but it always kind of feels like a home away from home. I went to college here. I guess that's why. And I have a lot of friends and family that live here. So
Yeah, I love what Ryan said. He said he knows that if there's some way to serve or you need help to give back to the community, that he can call you and you'll be on the ball. Why is it important for you to be involved in all this stuff?
I don't. Well, first of all, I love Utah, so I love to see Utah succeed. I love our LGBTQ youth. It's a lot of my dear friends and family are LGBTQ, and so those are two causes that are important to me. And so we started LoveLoud a few years back to kind of try to change the narrative a little bit and make a safer place for our kids.
So tell me a little bit about LoveLoud.
LoveLoud is a foundation that is primarily about igniting the conversation about what it means to really love and accept your child. There's countless statistics that show if a child is accepted in their home, their percentage for already LGBTQ youth have really dire statistics. Like their percentage of suicide is and risky drug use and things like that is 7 times higher than their peers. So to change the home and start those conversations is what LoveLoud's about, and we put on a festival every year where we talk about it and raise money and do some music, and then we donate it to a bunch of charities to do all kinds of things from saving youth through hotlines, suicide hotlines, to Encircle that does therapy in homes, and so all kinds of cool different foundations.
Awesome. Are we going to see a festival this year?
Yes.
When is it?
So we're looking at around May. We have a date, but I probably shouldn't say it yet because it's between 2 different dates. But yeah, we wish we could have done it these last years, but just COVID didn't allow for it.
So Tech Summit is an interesting space for you to be in. I know that you've got the LoveLoud piece, but also obviously the music side of that. How has the progression of tech throughout the years, how have you seen that change the world of music?
I mean, for sure it's changed in a huge way because we used to be on hard copies like
CDs and media play.
Yeah, and now it's all streaming. So everything has gone to a whole different format and medium, and people consume their music different, and they have every single song that ever was created at their hands, whereas before it was like you only had your CDs, and so it's a different world, and it's changed the way that people consume, changed the way that you release your music. And it's one of those things where you either complain about it or you change with the times. You kind of gotta change with the times.
So is it something that you feel like you want to complain about more? Like, is this a negative thing for the artists and musicians, or is there a twist on it with all the digital stuff that's actually beneficial for you guys?
It depends on the artist. Some artists it's affected more than others. I think it's really hurt like small upcoming bands. We happened to get lucky, and our band broke before it really got to where it is now, where it's pretty difficult to break. But that being said, people all around the world can listen to your music now, which is cool. And the independent artist is in a lot of ways is more powerful than they've ever been, and a lot of them are able to do it without labels and things like that. So I would say we're in a transitionary space right now where it's not a great time for artists, not a horrible time for artists. It's somewhere in the middle where everybody's trying to figure out what is it and where do we go from here. So I don't think we've landed. I think we're kind of floating in the air right now as an industry. And
then you add a global pandemic on top of it, and that halts tours and maybe a lot of progress there. How did that affect you guys for Imagine Dragons? I know a lot of people were doing like digital concerts. Did you guys have anything like that you were involved in?
Yeah, we did. We did a little of that. We didn't do as much as other artists. I know a lot of artists were like every week doing like streaming and stuff, but our show is such a huge production, and it relies so much on that. Like I'm from Vegas. I really care about everything aesthetically being over the top, eccentric, grandiose. Like a lot of the bands that I loved growing up was like it just did things in a like an overly dramatized way, whether it was like U2 or Freddie Mercury, and it was I like that appeals to me. So We didn't do as much of it, but we did a little bit of it, and yeah.
Okay, so why Utah? Why do you have so much love for this place?
Well, one, because, I spent years here going to college, but also a lot of my dear friends live here. A lot of my family lives here. Also, growing up as a Mormon, it's really like a centralized place for Mormonism and the culture of Mormonism. So there's a lot of reasons that Utah is really near and dear to my heart.
So can I ask you, with Love Loud and all the efforts that you're putting into that, coming from an LDS background,
Yeah.
how do those two coincide?
Well, I'm really not a very religious person anymore, but I still culturally associate myself with Mormonism because it's part of who I am. Anybody who's a Mormon knows that it's your culture. It's more than a religion.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that there is a real problem within. It's not just Mormonism. It's like all conservative anything. For it's not a safe place for LGBTQ youth because they've been told that they need to change. That they chose something, and then that changed over time, as we've seen that that's not a choice, obviously, so it's something that is very broken. It needs to be fixed, and it takes people from all sides to chip in and say, "Hey, look, like we need to work together and make this better." And it takes people on both sides of the wall to come together and talk and learn how to build bridges, and there's a lot of nuance that comes with that. So, yeah, I mean, I think that I got involved with it because, and it's the way that anybody gets involved with things that they care about. It was part of my upbringing. A lot of my dear friends are LGBTQ, and some of my family's LGBTQ. So, it just really matters to me. Yeah.
Well, it's really cool to use your platform, your voice, to make a change like this, both in the music industry and in the world and in the community, and just to love everyone and really take a stand, it sounds like, for those people struggling and looking for someone else to help them have a voice. So awesome what you're doing. Thanks for joining us here at Summit.
Thanks for having me.
It's nice to meet you.
You too.